Okay, well, in part 3, alright, part 2 left off where I was showing you how not only did WWE, or WWF, whatever, they didn't get influenced by WCW Monday Nitro. They literally copied it to an exact clone of the exact same characters and exact storylines while they're competing on the exact same night against each other at the same time. WCW would do a storyline, then WWE would do it like a year later, exactly, and just with just different people, and then nobody would notice that they copied an exact thing because apparently people have their blinders on. That's what seems to prove to me on how all the fans that watched then when wrestling was at its peak of popularity during the 90s, Monday Night War, as we were talking about, it goes to show me that all those people are gone and now it's just Vince's little cult people that started watching now or just don't remember, because there's so many people, there's so many of those WWE little cult mark fans that don't know anything, just saying, oh, WWE didn't copy. Let us go to the video and show how they copied the exact formula of WCW. I proved it to you earlier in part 2 when I showed you how WWE, before Bischoff came along to WCW, all it was just Ultimate Warrior talking with a background, and they did a little interview. They didn't have any, like, storylines, like, outside the ring, outside the arena, like real characters living a life. It was all just interview, oh, I want the belt, I'm angry, I'm gonna beat you. That's how WWE is now. Because they don't have any competition to have to compete, and they have no one to steal from now. So, let us finally, because obviously it's boring to hear me while there's a split gray screen going on. Okay. Sorry. It was snowing. Alright, you saw earlier in part 2, I think it was, where I was showing you the one tape where you saw 1, 2, 3 kid. Well, he became 6, who he is in real life, the stoner, cool, laid back guy, and he was 6 with the beard, and you see the suck it symbol? Okay, this is right before D-Generation X, WWF's DX was invented, the NWO, the suck it, see? All they did was, they even stole the suck it sign, but you know what WWF does? They steal something, and then they market it as their own. They call it the suck it symbol, so now all of a sudden it's Vince's. He could steal an exact thing from, this is Nitro, by the way, WCW. See, there's your suck it. Okay, now WWF will later on claim that they invented it. And remember, this is on national TV. This is the highest ratings. More people are seeing that Nitro than people have seen WWE in the last, 14 years. And he is as X-Pac, the exact same thing, and there's Jericho. Oh, and there's the cage how they conveniently got updated as you... Okay, now we're gonna go to Raven here. Hold on, this is important. I mean, I'm letting it go to somebody else now instead of me talking, because I want to finally set the record straight of all those stupid people that don't know what they're talking about, thanks to Vince McMahon, that are all over making those stupid groups on Facebook. That are saying, no, WWF's the best. Yeah, attitude. Even though they stole everything and fucked over every company, and then literally stole every idea of WCW Nitro. So I'm going to take it to Raven here. Now, Raven is a really, really known wrestler. He was in ECW, and he plays like a Charlie Manson character where he's this, well, sort of like that. He's this really disturbed kid who, was the loser in high school, and he has, this really deep cult-like personality. So he, brings in people that don't have confidence, and he's kind of like their king. He sucks them in. It's like a cult. He's like a cult leader, like the Manson family, with Charlie Manson. That's his character. And he called it, The Gathering and Raven's Flock in WCW, and it was The Gathering in TNA, and he did it and all that. Yeah. And he was in ECW that I was telling you about before. He was He was the brainchild of Paul Heyman and himself, Raven, in what I talked about earlier in Extreme Championship Wrestling, on how they were doing real in-depth characters and not just, I'm the Ultimate Warrior, bullshit for kids. That was dumb shit. They were doing, and so he goes to WCW Nitro, and they carried on with the Flock, and so he's a really main character in wrestling, and he talks about proving what I was saying about how Vince McMahon literally just fucked over all the territory, all the other companies and the territories, like I said in part 1 of this, on how there was all those different companies, he just fucked them over. He would literally, take talent from them, lure them in from their companies to his with promises saying, oh yeah, you'll get this, they'll be a main eventer. Use them for like a night and then dump them, and then they wouldn't be able to go back to the other company because they'd be blackballed. And he didn't give a shit. He just did it to fuck over everyone. And here's Raven proving my point. So let's go to the video.
A lot of people don't know this, but I wanted to get your takes on what you thought of some of the gimmicks at the time and what you thought some of the best and the worst were.
I wasn't actually writing for him.
He's talking about WF here.
Producing.
On all the dumb gimmicks.
The writers were Pat and Bruce and Jerry, I guess. And I was being groomed to be a writer, and I would put the second run shows together like All American and Mania. Because I think they had already phased out maybe they hadn't phased out Superstars yet. Now they're bringing it back, but they maybe they still had Superstars. Maybe I was formatting that too. But anyway, I was formatting All American and Mania, and also associate producing Raw. But I didn't actually write the shows yet. But if I would have been writing, if I would have ran the zoo.
The zoo, because it's a freaking circus.
Like Wild Bill Irwin in a hockey outfit. With hockey,
the goon?
Yeah.
The goon, that's what they called him.
I mean, awesome.
Vince just made him a dumb goon hockey.
They took a lot of guys who were really talented territory guys and just abused them,
What are some examples of that you can remember?
I just gave you one.
Besides that, I know you had mentioned Steve Kern as Skinner before.
Skinner, yeah. Who else?
Yeah, the Australian Outback guy.
They did a number on him. Rip Oliver basically ruled the Pacific Northwest for like 10 years. Him, Buddy Rose. Actually, I got to think about my history because I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Come on, Ray.
During the glory years. Let's see.
Before I take over.
I helped. I was instrumental, I think, in part of it being like the last big run of Portland wrestling before it went, in the tank. But and when the WWE came through in '84 and took all the top talent out of each territory, they took it out and and basically they wanted to bankrupt the territory to the top stars, and they brought Rip Oliver in, made him the Super Ninja. Why? For one night on some pay-per-view, I think against Ultimate Warrior or some Saturday Night Main Event, and that was it. And then basically, once Rip had given up the job as Booker in Portland, then my buddy the Grappler, he wasn't my buddy then, but he became my buddy the Grappler, took over. He actually gave it to his buddy the Grappler, and he recommended him. And the Grappler came in, and the Grappler had a great long run there. But unfortunately for Rip, Rip unfortunately, got ousted himself, because he thought he was going to get a job in New York.
New York meeting WWF.
Bullshit. Total bullshit.
He just got
the bigger case of that is Baron von Raschke was, a legend, and they brought him in, took away his German accent, made him look like the Emperor in Star Wars, sort of. With the hood, he looked like, maybe that was just how I perceived he looked like. But it doesn't matter. The fact is they didn't use him with the crap, and basically they just took him to help crush the AWA, which, I don't know. That's it's very predatory, especially considering how much Vince cried about the Turner was being predatory to him.
Ted Turner in WCW.
And then Vern was predatory to other territories, and he complained about them New York being predatory to him. It's like, hey, look, I'm not a fan of predatory tactics. But, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, I think it's bullshit, the whole raping and pillaging the other territories, knowing full well you're not going to use them just so you can, put them out of business, with promises of this and that never occur. It's bullshit, but it's even more bullshit when then you do it to somebody and then you cry when somebody like a little bitch when somebody does it back to you, Which was the case in the 90s when, with Bischoff.
With Eric Bischoff. See? There's your proof right there. See, Vince fucked over everybody and blackballed everybody and fucked everything. And then when Eric Bischoff comes along and beats him to the punch, kicking his ass in the ratings of WCW, he cries, "You're stealing all my guys." He didn't steal them. He took everyone back that Vince stole from the NWA. He just took them all back. And he literally convinced all these people, oh yeah, WCW is evil, Eric Bischoff's evil. Fuck you. Alright, here's another example. Listen up. Okay, you know how WWF claims they made Stone Cold Steve Austin? He was in WCW feuding with the top star, Ric Flair. How does he claim he's a nobody, Brittany? How does he claim he's a nobody? He's feuding with the top fucking legend, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Everybody fucking knows who the fuck Ric Flair is. He's a top guy. Oh, because you didn't get the world title?
Myself, I've been on sets everywhere.
He's the same character. All Vince did was just call him Stone Cold and copyright.
Well for yourself, old man.
Old man, that's the same goofy sense of humor he has as Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was already a superstar here in WCW on national TV.
Here, Rick. How much space that old statue over there?
Making fun of them being older. The statue.
That's 6-7-time world champion. 9 times. Oh, yeah, but actually, can you do me a favor? Can I get your autograph? Mind you, it's not for me. My great-grandmother was a big fan of you.
My great-grandmother's a big fan of yours. See, Austin is the same exact character with a funny asshole sense of humor. All Vince did was just take him and change the name to Stone Cold. That's it.
Hey, speaking of great, I was in the history books just the other day, and I was looking back, way back, when you, Rick, and Double A were part of a elite organization. Was the Four Clovers, the Four Humpbacks?
The Four Horsemen. That's Ric Flair's group. You'll see later on this tape. Well, you won't see it. You'll see when the NWO makes fun of them, then I'll show you.
We dominated. Right, you dominated, Rick. But that was yesteryear. That's all in the past.
Like Austin, he's another guy like Chris Jericho and WWF misleading people, making it sound like he was a nobody. He's a big star here, feuding Ric Flair and everybody. He got every title there was except for the world title because it wasn't his time yet. And he literally convinced everyone that Eric Bischoff fucked him over.
You got Shane Douglas. You got Ricky Steamboat.
That's not even true. He literally was injured, wouldn't come to work for tapings to do the show, and then Eric Bischoff let him go when he could have held him in contract to Rock. And he did Austin a favor, letting him go so Vince McMahon could pick him up to compete against WCW. That's the truth.
Washed up old-timers, these so-called legends who were falling on hard times.
And that's Brian Pillman, by the way. They were the Hollywood Blondes together.
Home-cooked meal to him, and I gotta believe your right-hand man will Double A might be first in line at that buffet because...
There's Arn Anderson. We'll see him made fun of later.
That's it. No, wait. Hey, brother, we want to let this slide, man. We got a hot show going here. You guys, you know what? You got to remember one thing. You're the guest on my show. You're out of line, and you're out of your league on this deal, pal. Like I said, you guys are the guests on my show. We're not going to take this. You sit down, we'll forget the whole thing ever happened. Let's keep talking here now. No. I got to say, Arn, who are we kidding? You guys are going to be there, too. You get together with the rest of the old codgers, maybe after the meal, play some checkers.
Play some checkers.
Maybe soak the dentures. You got that?
Soak your dentures.
Is that right, huh? You guys are talking pretty good right now. Maybe we should talk about it for the more serious way. Maybe I was ready to ask you a question, Rick. Maybe before you blow that pacemaker.
Before you blow that pacemaker.
Are you ever going to break out those with a mothball little crunch juice with the wool on them?
Alright, so my point is that Austin was the exact same, because that's just him. He's that sarcastic asshole. That's the exact character as Stone Cold. Later on, the WWF just took after WCW showed that he could be a star. See, there's Stone Cold, then it's the same exact character. Oh, I'm sorry, he's bald. That makes him a different character. So people think because you change the hair, that means you're a totally different thing. Vince came up with it. Vince never came up with anything.
You want to drink a beer with the real Stone Cold Steve Austin?
See, okay, so there's your little... He's the goofy Stone Cold. Same fucking thing. And Vince has the nerve to say he copyrights it. He made it.
Would that be great? Would that be swell? That'd be a good
That's Will Sasso from Mad TV, by the
That'd be
way.
great, Mr. Austin.
When he used to do Stone Cold on Mad TV.
Have me a couple of beers.
I mean, do I have to go any further? Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Like, everybody thinks Stone Cold's WWF. No. Alright, let's scoop ahead. Here's ECW. Same, it's just him. It's the same. You didn't Vince, you can't make a guy that's just him. See, he's mad. He claims he got fucked over in WCW, but okay. You're just pissy because you didn't get the world title. That's the truth. I like Austin. It's just the truth. Not everyone get the world title at once.
I'm up here all the way at the top, and I look down, and I see through
Oh yeah, and jabroni is just a term for being a loser who's just there to lose a match. And people think The Rock made that up. No, it's just a wrestling term. By the way. But anyway, okay. Alright, and then, but I want to show you, okay, I want to show you, you know how Vince McMahon is supposed to be, oh, hold on. Okay, Vince McMahon claims to be the big genius. Oh yeah, I made Stone Cold. Yeah, the ripoff of the NWO. Okay, Vince McMahon, remember when I said in part 2? How he wanted the kiddie show, he didn't want any of that, you know, middle fingers or any of that adult type. He took Austin from WCW. Okay, he got Austin from ECW. He went WCW, then he went to ECW. But then he's the one who's... Okay, everybody claims about Eric Bischoff stealing talent off ECW. Everybody jumped for... Austin went from ECW to WWF. It's the same fucking thing. Actually, Vince stole way more from WWF than WCW had their own ideas. So anyway, everyone's like, oh yeah, like my good old friend RJ Mills. He's like, yeah, Stone Cold's the best. WWF's way better than WCW. Okay, if it wasn't for Eric Bischoff kicking Vince's ass in the ratings, doing the whole edgy thing, here's your Austin. He would be this boring, regular wrestler guy with no personality called the Ringmaster. Never talked. Still, this is 96. It looks like 1986 with Hulk Hogan. Look it. This is 96. What year does that look like to you? That looks like 80s. They never moved anywhere until they were getting their ass kicked. There's your fucking truth. Right there, and it pisses me off that people try to tell me I'm wrong. That's what he was. Vince actually stripped him of all that character that was in WCW to begin with. Isn't that ironic that people shit on WCW, these dumb Vince cults? And it was actually Vince that stripped him of the Austin character? Here's Jericho in WCW.
Not fall for that again. No, that's that back. That's right. Where's the break? This is real.
See, Chris Jericho, he made himself the huge star. See the goofy security? Chris Jericho was the goofy here first. Vince just saw him get huge here in WCW, and just then he. This is when he was feuding with Bill Goldberg, which was WCW's top star at the time, with Hogan and, you know. But he's a nobody. He's only on pay-per-view here, getting a fucking half an hour to fuck around. That's actually shortened. He claims he got no airtime. He gets a fucking half an hour every night on national TV. Then on the on TNT and TBS. He's just a Vince mark. WCW made him. This just upsets me. We getting all this? So here's his little making fun of Goldberg's entrance with the sparks, and he doesn't get any. It's good. It's already done in WCW. He literally just goes to WF to do the exact same thing that WCW already did. That was my whole point of what I'm trying to show here, is that WCW did everything, and then WF would do it like exactly a year later. I hope this video isn't boring, but this is all just the video version, just to give you guys some actual show you that wrestling could be cool. See, Jericho-holic, not made in
everything he has to say. There's his security man.
WCW Monday Night Jericho. There's the shirt. WF would later on rip it off with WCW, or Raw is Jericho shirt. Same exact thing. Here, this is Thunder, by the way. This is the Thursday night show after Nitro. And then WF rips it off by making WF SmackDown, which you all heard of. Superstation.
He is the toughest man in professional wrestling today, aren't you, Ralphus? He'll tell you, give me a break. All right,
here goes
you're
personal
still
security.
The television champion, and there are many men who want to come out and take this
That's Tony Schiavone, the announcer.
Other things as of late. You know, I came out here on Nitro, Schiavone, and I said I respect Bill Greenberg. I'm sorry, Goldberg. And yes, I do respect you, Goldberg. And I said you're a great champion. But I also said that I am a greater champion. I am the WCW World Television Champion. And you know what that means?
But he's a nobody.
That means if you're watching TV right now, I'm your champion. If you like to sit at home and stuff your face with potato chips and watch the boob tube, I'm your champion. If you're married to the remote control. You're married to Chris Jericho. If you like to channel surf, you're surfing with me. Hang 10, Daddy-O. So my point is this. Yes, I respect you, Goldberg, but I still have 4 victories over you, and sooner or later, you're going to have to come to terms with this.
Sure
you're going to have to face the facts, and you're going to have to see if you can break my streak. Jericho 4, Goldberg nothing, and yes, I do respect you, but that doesn't mean that I won't beat a little more sense into you. So just watch out, Goldberg, because I am better and more popular than you. Let's go, Ralphus.
Yeah, and he claims he was a nobody. He got everything, half an hour. Like I said this 1,000. He was one of the biggest stars on the whole show. But he's a big... There's him fighting the fake Goldberg, by the way, that he made just to beat him. He made a mock little midget one. You know, WWF will copy that exact same shit a year later. All they did was take everything WCW did. I mean, how many times do I have to prove this? I don't think we have enough yet. There's Goldberg. See how Jericho's making fun of him with the security? That was the whole joke when you saw in the pay-per-view where he had he's the serious, tough guy who doesn't talk. He's just like an animal, and he's like a killing machine. They did this whole storyline where nobody could beat him, and he went on this huge streak where nobody could beat him, and that's what Jericho was talking about. So you see the idea how Jericho made fun of him, how he has the security come with him because he's dangerous, get it? And he has the sparks when you'll see, I'll show you. I hope this isn't boring. I'm just trying to give everybody an exact idea how WCW did all this first. And WWF just took this exact formula. So you watch, he does the whole like, but he did in the sense that like, he was the only one in WCW. That's what made it unique. It's not like WWF where they're all fucking no personality. That was the whole point of him, where he was like a monster.
149-0.
140, so they kept that streak. There was a reason why Goldberg was that. He was the only one. That's what made it unique. And Jericho was the antagonist, annoying little rat that got on his nerves. See how he's like the monster? People really... He was huge. Okay, so anyway, Jericho does the exact... Now this is WWF SmackDown. This is 99 after he leaves WCW for WWF, and they do the exact same thing. Ken Shamrock's the exact same gimmick as Goldberg. He used to be in the UFC, the Ultimate, fighting. Howard Finkel, he's his Ralphus. See how? Sidekick, Ralphus, but is that not the same thing? Goofy Jericho fighting over the tough monster guy, getting under his skin. See how WWF stole every exact... Somebody tried to tell me this wasn't the exact same storyline. Really? Okay, look at Ken Shamrock and tell me how this is not the same storyline. Shamrock, watch him come out. Tough guy who just screamed, he's all serious. Look at... How is that not the exact same thing as Goldberg? I know the fuzz is annoying, I know. It's my fucking VCR. It's because the tape wasn't taped on this VCR, so it's all fucked up. But look at how he screams like, like Goldberg. It's the same. See? It's the same gimmick. Annoying Jericho getting under the serious, tough guy's skin. And somebody tried to tell me, look, he's not the same guy here in WWF.
I'm over here, you moron. I know I promised to meet you face to face.
See, he went in the cage knowing Goldberg couldn't break. Goldberg, I'm not even saying it. Ken Shamrock couldn't break. I know it's really fuzzy. And destroy both you and your reputation. Did we get the point?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
So there's your point. Tough guy, Jericho being the... See? He's the exact same thing in WWF. WWF literally would just take their wrestlers and do the same thing. It annoys the hell out of me that WWF actually gets credit for any of this. And Jericho is like, oh yeah. And there's Howard Finkel distracted. That's his little sidekick, like Ralphus you saw in WCW. Now we're back to WCW, but I'm gonna skim ahead here. We're gonna be here for 20 years. This is his feud with Dean Malenko. Notice how he has like a fucking half an hour here on Nitro, on TNT. More people... You know what's funny? Jericho bitches, right? That WCW didn't make him a star. Quadruple the amount of people saw this Nitro when wrestling was hugely popular on, more than like 10 years of WWE combined.
Paul.
Isn't that funny? And then he claims he was not a star. Well, why do you get a fucking half an hour of airtime here every week, Jericho? Why do you have every belt? He's a liar. And that's what upsets me, because I was such a fan of his. But he makes WCW seem like some crap. You're nothing without them. So anyway, one last thing. He does his little, he's feuding here with Dean Malenko, who's a serious wrestler, who takes pride in being known as the man of 1,000 holds.
Since I took care of Mr. Jannetty so quickly.
I just want to watch this really quick, just for you. Because again, this is for fans too, for people who I want to show that wrestling's fun, like cool when you watch
Malenko, you claim to be the man of 1,000 holds, but I counted, and you know about 60, but I know 1,004.
He has a...
Roll them all down. Here we go.
He made a whole list.
Hold 1, arm drag.
I know it's hard to see.
Hold 2,
This is decent.
arm bar.
We could switch the other one.
Hold
But...
3. Lamont's covered. 3 handle family redundle. Why doesn't he just mail us this list? He won't announce it.
Why don't you just mail this list and we'll announce it?
The Saskatchewan.
Look at the size of the list. See, that's Jarrett.
Microphone night. He's got 998 to go.
See, WCW is the first to do this format of making the characters and taking them outside, just like the interview, like doing real story, like they'll even go outside the ring. You get the point, right, Brittany?
Mm-hmm.
You get the point that WWE took this exact, and this was the more popular show. Like during on the
Are we going to get some officials to move
at the top until Vince just copied and caught up.
Are you taking up for him? I'm not taking up for him. I'm just going to explain it.
He's still going on. See what I mean? Like, in Jericho claims, oh, I was a nobody. Yeah, okay. An hour later. So, okay. Now I'm going to show you this clip of WWF in 2000. What does that show? Raw is Jericho. Is that not the same shirt?
Jericho.
Raw instead of Nitro? Raw?
What that means.
See? Same exact. I know it's hard to see. But he's wearing a Raw is Jericho shirt, which is an exact ripoff of the Nitro shirt. So please, WWF just got their hand-me-downs. Okay, here's Mick Foley before he's Mankind. Alright, can we switch to the other TV? Monitor 2. You recording?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I'm sorry. We switched to Monitor 2 over here. We got the two of them right by each other because I thought I would need many TVs. I mean, I'm just showing people that, okay, basically you're seeing is there's a table. It's like, it's a weapon match. It's like we're weapons, it's a hardcore match. And WWF, they pretend that like they invented it by calling them hardcore matches. So anyway, the point is that that's Mick Foley, who, you know, later on went to WWE as Mankind. Now, ignore the WWE symbol. This is WCW. They just own the footage now, so they put their fucking shit all over the fucking place. Even though, actually, you don't even see it on your screen. Anyway, but you can see that it's bordered WWE because they have to put their fucking grubby paws on everything. But anyway, that's Mick Foley in WCW. This is before Bischoff got the reins of WCW, and they were already doing this hardcore stuff even before Paul Heyman changed it to Extreme Championship Wrestling in like '94. They were already doing this stuff, in '95 he changed it to Extreme Championship Wrestling. So the point is that all these marks, all these WWE cult fans that believe all Vince's lies. They literally like, oh yeah, ECW did the hardcore first, and WCW copied. They did everything even before them. Paul Heyman, who is the brainchild of Extreme Championship Wrestling that I was telling you about in part 1 and 2, he even came from WCW. He just had a fallout with them and went to go make his own company because he was frustrated in WCW. Now that's before Bischoff came. Everybody getting all that? I just don't want it to be too much. Is this too, like...
No, it's fine.
You get the point?
Yeah.
So Mick was a big star. Now this is on pay-per-view, by the way. So and he feuded with Vader and Sting, all the big main eventers of WCW for the world title, and everybody does not give WCW any credit. They're like, oh yeah, WWF made me. No, all WWF did was get all their hand-me-downs that they weren't using at the time, and Bischoff could have held them hostage. Okay, see the roof? This is World War III where look at, they have double rings, the double big helmet. See the cage with the roof? WCW did this back in the 80s for years, and then WWF steals the idea and calls it Hell in a Cell. See, they take something and then copyright the name, get it? That's all they do is just steal everything and then say they invented it, and then they try to bury, see? Then they try to bury WCW. Look, there's your roof, there's the 2 ring, look at this is when it was still NWA, see? They stole everything. Okay, there's Eric Bischoff. At this point, at this point of Nitro, this is when he started doing the real shit. See how, like, Scott Hall's coming out of nowhere to the announce desk? The whole point of that is the fact that it's shock TV. You didn't know what the heck was going to happen. Before, they were doing, like, the old formula. It was like a wrestling show. Then all of a sudden, they did that whole storyline where, oh my God, the guys that were in WWF at the time, Scott Hall and Nat, whatever, we'll call them Scott Hall and Kevin Nash because that's what they are in WCW. They came out of nowhere, invading WCW, wink, wink, get it, for the show. They're the ones who started doing these real-life storylines first that seemed real. And Eric Bischoff pretended he had nothing to go along with it, and they just invaded, and they're like, oh, remember when I told you in part 1 that they made the NWO, the rival company of WCW, and they wanted to take it down. That was the whole... They did all this first. And Vince stole this whole ideas with everything with Austin and DX. See? So Scott Hall comes...
I don't want any trouble with you.
I know the sound shit is really bad, but you have to just...
Now.
It's the tape that was really bad.
You came out here last week.
Because it's from the...
Where is it? The big surprise. I mean, I heard a lot of talk, but where's the walk?
See, before all this, you didn't have any, like, TV show like this.
What? I'm here.
So Nash and Hall invade from WWF, wink wink, which was a genius idea. and Eric's just the announcer, has no, like, and the president who has no idea.
This is where the big boys play, huh?
That was the old term of WCW, the pre-Bischoff.
We ain't here to play.
All right, you get the idea that they invade, and it...
Where's the macho man, huh? Live this Sunday in Baltimore, Great American Bash. You guys want to show up? You want to fight? You show up, I'll see if I can get you your fight. I don't know about you, but... Hey, they love us in Baltimore. Hey, big man, I say me and you, we be at the Bash. Maybe these punks want to fight.
See, he's still doing that Cuban Razor Ramon stupid thing that WWE made him just to make fun of the fact that he was... Because he's supposed to be invading from... He's supposed to be invading from WWF, so he had to keep that, Razor Ramon voice to make it like he's still in WWF, but they're invading the rival company. That's what made it so cool, because they're competing on the exact same night at this exact time, and there's WWF guys on WCW. It was brilliant. It's and so they come invading with the popcorn. They're funny. Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are so funny, and that's where Vince got the idea for D-Generation X. He just ripped off. And everybody says, oh, well, they all know each other in real life, and they just came from WWF, so they didn't. Bischoff didn't come up with anything. You're wrong. See, Vince McMahon, when these guys were in WWF, they begged Vince, oh, could we do could we do some of these ideas we have that are edgy, that make the show more... Vince didn't want it. He wanted the little kiddie show. So they went to WCW, and Bischoff beat him to the punch by doing the better show. So it doesn't matter who you make excuses. Bischoff's the one who went and did it, right? And kicked his ass. So everyone's like, oh, well, doesn't matter. So here they are. It's funny. They come with their tickets so they can't get kicked out. This seemed real at the time.